Dun dun. How y'all feeling? That music too hot. Let me know what's going on. How we feeling, chat? How we feeling? How we feeling? Welcome on in. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate everybody stopping in, showing some love to the stream. If you have not, hit that like button, man. It's easy. It's free support. Hold on, chat. Let me make sure. Okay. Sorry about that, chat. And when you stream, you always got something that's gonna mess up. That's just the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumble. And I feel it. I get it. But we here. We ain't gonna let it beat us. That's all I'm gonna say. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon? It is 12:58 my time. And I decided to, start the show a couple minutes early because we got some stuff to talk about. And I ain't gonna lie. You might not want to talk about it. So you might want to get your popcorn ready. Let me continue to make sure my audio is working on all platforms. Give me a 1 in the chat if all your audio is working and it looks good and it sounds good. Okay, we good on TikTok. Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, so we good. Appreciate that, Derek. Appreciate you popping in over on TikTok. If you are new in the building, let me know where you're viewing from. I love any Dallas Cowboy fan that we got, and we shall see. So today's show is gonna be. I'm gonna kind of do a lengthy show today. Appreciate you, Brandon, over there on Facebook. Appreciate that one, and I'm gonna tell y'all now, man. This offensive line has not been talked about that much. So we have to talk about it because if we think we just gonna sit here and just surpass our offensive line, we're joking because we have gave, every inch and ounce of any effort towards our defense and getting our defense right. But today, I'm going to be the one to tell you that the things that Brian Schottenheimer said in this press conference that we'll take a listen to shortly about left tackle Tyler Guyton and how he needs to surpass this year and he needs to work harder, basically. He says that in a professional way, in a coach way. But what I can say is that at left tackle and at right tackle, we're struggling. We're not going to put that right tackle just under the carpet. We're not going to sweep that under the carpet because we all know that Terrence still has had those issues. He has had those small issues that it's almost like, why did we pay him? Why did we pay him, chat? Because if we sit back and we think about this, yes, we've added an array of additions to the defense. You don't get me wrong. Let me catch up on some of these comments. He said over on TikTok, they talking about single Dak is going to be legendary. Hey, you run with that because I know the ins and outs of that. I just don't like mentioning it. CF Thomas said, thanks for Osa, bro. Glad to see the Cowboys fans rooting for him. I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't rooting for no Osa. I can really care less if you want to be honest. I really didn't like Osa. That's just me personally. We're going to leave it at that. It's neither here and there, but I really didn't like Osa on my squad. There was something about him that didn't work out, and I'm not sure what that was, but I know it's a scheme thing right now, but hey, we shall see. But back onto my main topic. Guys, are we not getting that the fact that Brian Schottenheimer didn't talk well about Tyler Guyton? Guys, we have to reiterate this. This is nothing that we can just sit here and be like, you know what, Dak Prescott, he's going to be okay next year. Oh, is he? Because last time I checked, that right side was really, really weak. And not weak to the point where it's like, whoa, wait a minute. But it's like, how in the world do we expect to be top 5 offense that we say, and we can't protect our quarterback? We can't run block. Because last time I checked, the Dallas Cowboys tried to run the ball a lot more. And with running the ball, it comes with the offensive lineman being able to move up to the second level. And if we can't do that, guys, we're going to have an issue on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we can harp about this defense. We can harp about LBs. We can harp about cornerbacks. We can harp, hell, even some of y'all want a safety. And we got one. We just signed one for a 3-year deal. And y'all want one. Like, you kidding me? So we got to sit here and think, guys, what is going to be best for the Dallas Cowboys moving into this draft? Because the draft is what's important. Tim with the DC4L. DC4L, man, you know it. What's going to make it? What's going to make it? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure my audio's right on everything. Okay, we good. But yeah, Cowboys T, what's the word, man? Dallas Cowboys for life. You know it forever. But yeah, we've harped about the defense and these LBs, these corners, these pass rushers, these safeties, these whatever the case may be. But we have not harped about this offense at all. And yeah, we may have had a great season last season, but it still was a losing season. We all know that was because of our trash can ass defense. We know that. We can say that. That's cool. But how much do we put into the defense? Will Jerry be drafting the offensive lineman? Hey, I heard it from, shout out to my boy Dallas Cowboys, Chris, because he was in my stream one of these days, and he told me, he said, don't be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys go offensive lineman. And you know what? I almost crashed out on him. But I was like, you know what? I ain't going to do that, because you got a point. You got a point. Because the way Brian Schottenheimer is talking about Tyler, it's not too well. Brian said LB and probably another offensive line. Yeah, defense should be better with new defensive coordinator. See, I'm not with the should be better type vibe. I don't like that. That just ain't my vibe, bro. Should be better. How you gonna be better with a first-year defensive coordinator? Let's be honest. Logically speaking, Brian, how are we going to be better with a first-year defensive coordinator and you have no solidification that this guy is a defensive coordinator and proven that he can be a defensive coordinator in big-time games or for 17 games? Yes, he's responsible of developing Quinyon and whatever the case may be, but yeah, I know it couldn't be worse. I've been hearing a lot of that crap. I know it can't be worse. I know. Don't you think I know that? But what if it do? First year defensive coordinator? What if it do? And then if it don't, what if it ain't as what you think it is? What if it's just enough? I mean, just enough to make us happy, but make Dak Prescott have to really play. How are we going to put it then? Then we're going to be sitting here talking about how Dak Prescott is underperforming. He ain't doing this. He ain't doing that. Last time I checked, defense win championships. The Seattle Seahawks just won this Super Bowl off of defense, not offense. Yeah, they had great players. They had a great offense, whatever the case may be. I don't know their ranks, but great for them. But I'm going to tell you this, that defense wins championships. I believe the Seattle Seahawks allowed like 200 and something points last season through 17 games. That is approximately 17 points per game, per opponent. Guys, if that's not defense win championships, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. He said, no more Kenneth Murray. So our defense already jumped up 2 spots. You can say that if you want to. Don't be funny. Don't be funny. Speak logically. Don't try to be funny because Kenneth Murray ain't on our roster no more. Hell, we got 3 of them. Justin Barron, DeMarvion Overshown and Shamar James. That's our linebacker core right now. So you telling me it got better? Remember that. Hold on. A couple people said it got better. So, like I said, we're going to touch points on Brian Schottenheimer's interview because I definitely think it's important. You know, this guy, Brian Schottenheimer, he's entering his second year with us. And to be quite honest, man, I really think that Brian Schottenheimer, he wants to take the necessary steps to win Super Bowls in Dallas. He does. But how much can he do, or how much can he have to the outcome of that? Yeah, I mean, he had a great season last season, in my opinion. He's in charge. He's a head coach in charge of calling the plays for Dak Prescott. And the offense soared. I mean, except for those two hiccups of putting Kevontae Turpin in the backfield and CeeDee Lamb in the backfield, we did pretty well on the offensive side of the ball. So how in the world can this man take us there? Cowboys T said, hear me out. Kenneth Murray ain't bad. Watch his film before Dallas. He's not a bad LB. So Cowboys T, I am an Oklahoma fan, diehard Oklahoma fan. He played for us. He played for Oklahoma for, I believe, for 3-4 years. He is great. He was a beast at OU. Trust me, I've watched him. When I thought he was coming, when I seen he was coming here to Dallas, I was like, yeah, we got him. Hey, he gonna help us. But I'll be damned. I can't continue to hold up a person that's going to the wrong gap, bro. I don't care what logic that you put in front of me on a tablet, on a phone, or a device. You're not going to sit here and tell me that an LB schematically, or depending on the coach and what he calls, he goes to the wrong gap. That just doesn't make sense to me. It does not. And you tell me, if anybody in my chat can make that make sense, I would love to hear it. Because right now it does not make sense. I would never forget that play against the Minnesota Vikings. Bro went to the wrong gap, and the running back came through this gap. He said, I'm 57 and hope I live long enough to see another Super Bowl. Gary, you ain't lying. I ain't that old, but I ain't calling you old, but I ain't that old in age. But I'm hoping so too. He said, we gave Terrence Steele, Donovan Wilson. Let's remember Anthony Brown. Roman said, who we talking about? I just joined. Man, we talking about Kenneth Murray Jr. Okay? He was great at OU. He was great at what he did before he got to the Dallas Cowboys. And then he got under Matt Eberflus's disastrous defenses, schematic issues, and just got swept under the rug and basically sugarcoated by Matt Eberflus's horrible schematic defense. Because I've seen multiple videos that this is a schematic issue. He went to this hole and he was supposed to go to this. Bro, no. If I'm a linebacker and I see a freaking running back going, faking and going to this hole and going, I'm at least trying to get back to the other hole. Bro didn't try. He went straight to that empty hole and then bro just walked into the end zone against the Minnesota Vikings. He said, we need another ring. I wish we could. I wish we could say that right now. He says, don't say that name. You about to make me leave. Roman, I'm telling you. And the only reason why I got on the situation is because somebody in the chat got on the situation. So I'm trying to move on. And I'm going to tell you now, Brian Schottenheimer is telling the truth. And one thing he is telling the truth about is how Tyler Guyton needs to step up this season. He needs to step up 100%. So we got to hear this.
Do you have any assurance that he's going to be around in the offseason?
No, I mean, I've had conversation with George. He's doing great. He and CD have been taking a lot of trips together. When I text them now, I kind of text them both. CD. I was at a wedding the other day. My nephew or my niece got married, and I text them both, and it was great just to catch up with those guys. But yeah, he's training with Dak. Hey, look, GP loves it here. We love GP.
That's right.
We have plans for GP to be here for a long time. So we'll let the business side of this thing play out and see where it goes.
Regarding him being available, though, for the off-season program, mini camps, OTAs, any assurances that he'll be around?
No, and I haven't pushed that on him. I mean, again, we're all going through the process.
So, guys, CD, GP taking trips together. CD, GP working with Dak. in the offseason. Love to hear it. That's how it should be. Them three is the three amigos on the offensive side of the ball. It should be like that. Now,
almost April. We're still.
Because this is going to get me. And I made a video over this earlier, and it's going to release probably tomorrow, whatever the case may be. And I don't think GP3 is going to be at any of these voluntary workouts. And what I said is that if GP decides to show to any of these voluntary workouts, with his agent being David Margetta and him being franchise tagged for $27, $28 million a year, he get paid 1 year for $27, $28 million a year, whatever. Only way he's showing up to these voluntary camps, workouts, whatever the case may be, is to show the Dallas Cowboys that he's changed his character prior. And that he's changed his character and is trying to change his character from Pittsburgh, because we all know he had a shitty attitude. He had an attitude problem, all of the above in Pittsburgh. He came to Dallas. We have yet to hear anything negative, see anything negative from GP. Nothing but positivity, Superman jumping over people, been doing the best he can on the field. And press conferences have been completely different. Bro looked like he learned a whole new vocabulary, if you want me to be honest. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to show at these voluntary workouts. And like I said, if he does show to any of these workouts while on this tag and he goes about his life about normal, this is a man that's trying to change his ways, his mentality. And I'm telling you, if he shows to these camps coming up, and I believe it's literally right around the corner, I believe it's probably this week, next week, whatever the case may be. If he shows, he's a changed man. I'm going to tell you that now. If
a couple weeks away, it's going to play out the way it plays out. And again, it's all voluntary. So, we'll see.
Hold on. What y'all say? He said GP3 going to be a Cowboy. Voluntary work means you don't have to. People stress it early. How much money do you think George Pickens want? $36 million at the lowest. Exactly. I hope Jerry steps down and lets someone else take over. I mean, that ain't happening. He said, Roman said, you're right, but I think he's proved it already. And if he thinks that too, then there's no point in him going. I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. He's probably not going to show. I would love for him to show, just to show that he's a changed man. But hey, what it is. I think Pittsburgh was a strict parent situation. Mike Tomlin and GP wasn't on the same page. Get it? But we all know what a strict parents situation happened. You begin to rebel. It's just, it is what it is. So Roman said, I feel like anything that he does now is extra insurance that he has changed. I like that. I like that take. See, now that's a logical take. And that's where I'm kind of going with this. If he wants to show up, he will. And if he doesn't, who knows? But I definitely think him showing up is, no matter what he's shown me thus far, no matter what he's shown the front office thus far, you still went down on the books with a shitty attitude. You had a shitty attitude in the beginning. It was a tad bit there during week 3, week 4, that we was wondering, the hell is he doing? His effort issues. Come on now, chat. Come on. We can't. I get it. This is, and Cowboys T, I'm with you. People are stressing a little too early, and I may be stressing a little too early. But that's just me being honest from my gut, from my soul, bro. Like, I don't think GP is in that type of headspace. Because, yeah, CD Lamb, when he got his money, he didn't show up. But guess who did? Dak Prescott. He showed up every single time, no matter how many times. I know he's paid, whatever the case, whatever. But he had the same situation at one point. He said, did CD go? No, he did. When he wanted his money, he did. He did. He did. He did not. So we gonna see. We're gonna see
where it goes.
That's all I'm saying. We can talk about that all day. I'll tell you.
Like his
Let's listen to head coach right here.
Just him being here, obviously next season, just where his head was at various points in the season last year.
What I learned about him was, again, he likes to be moved around. And we kind of learned that when CD was out, quite honestly, because CD's been the guy we've moved around. And so when we had that stretch where he went crazy, we were moving him around. So he's excited about that. He's looking forward to that. And that's where, again, the fact he's working and throwing with Dak and some of the other guys, that to me is more important than anything, because you have to come up with that me to you factor. Dak's thrown to CD for however many years, so those two guys working together, I think, is going to be huge moving into year 2.
Inside linebacker looks like a glaring need right now for
Really?
you guys.
You think so? Can you play?
I cannot, but
Me either.
what is the plan?
Ooh, my bad, Chuck.
Look, we made a run at some guys in free agency. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And what do? You just
What's
adjust.
the word,
It's
West Coast?
Something we're working on.
Appreciate you popping in over on
24/7. We've got a good plan. We've got firepower now going into the draft. We're not
Listen to
done.
this guy, Brian
we're always
Schottenheimer,
open
see
for
what he
business.
talking
So,
about,
part of it's going to be, Demo having a tremendous year. Shamar James is the guy we're excited about. But we recognize that we've got to fill some holes there.
And I'm glad you recognizing something now, Brian, because, damn, Brian, 3 linebackers, 3, and it's April 7th. Draft is in less than 20 days. 3 linebackers.
Do you think you could trust a rookie, maybe first-round pick, to step in pretty quickly and take that linebacker role? Is that something maybe you guys anticipate?
Yeah, depending on who the guy is and what their football instincts are and things like that. But it's happened before. And again, he's going to be surrounded by a lot of really good veteran players at all 3 levels. And so I think that if you get the right guy, absolutely.
Last year, you guys had interest in Tedero McMillan, and then obviously that didn't happen. Pickens was the turn after that. How important is a contingency plan?
Maybe it was the other way around.
Maybe. But how important is a contingency?
You guys can write about that for a couple weeks till I see you again, but go ahead.
Yeah, how important is a contingency plan heading into draft with a position like linebacker in terms of what's available and what you might have?
It's important, and again, we're ready for that.
Hey, seriously, West Coast, you got a great point, because there's a big difference between doing all this talking in these press conferences and going out there. I need this guy. I need him. I know he can make us better. Let's not do too much talking. That's where I'm at. But you got to talk. It's gonna be media. That's just the way it is in any entertainment industry, and we are in the entertainment industry with football. That's just the way it is.
We've got plans, and there's a lot of sideboards and side conversations that Jerry and Steven and Will and one of the best things about being on the pro day circuit, flying all over Texas and down to Miami, was the conversations that happen on that plane. And hey, well, let's talk about this, and what would it look like if we do that? And I think that's one of the best things when you're stuck in a tube flying all over Texas. You can have some real good conversations.
What are your needs? I mean, you certainly covered yourself in positions, but is there urgency or one position or another at this point?
Well, again, I think one area that we've talked a lot about is the nickel position. I think on defense, but that can come from a lot.
If you want me to be honest, man, I've been wondering the same thing, West Coast. Where is the plan B that what we're going to do on this LB position? Yeah, we can. And if you want me to be honest, I've been harping about this. And I'm the type of guy that's like, when we need something, why we ain't taking care of it? It's been 30 years. I'm getting a runaround by Jerry, talking about he all in, but we still got holes to fill. And I get it. It takes time to fill those holes, and you may think that this guy may not be what we need. And then you can address it in draft. And then what if we address it in draft, and then the draft picks end up like Luke Schoonmaker and Mozzie Smith? I just there's a void between the Dallas Cowboys and getting what the hell they need. Like, yeah, we got what we need on the offensive side of the ball, And if you want me to be honest, we got lucky with Javonte Williams because I was skeptical about him after injury, but he showed it. He's here now. So we did that on the offense. When is it going to translate to the defense? When is it going to translate to the defense? That's all we need is it to translate. If we can translate and complement the great offense that we got in the way Dak is playing and the way GP's playing CD and then Javonte and this offensive line continue to do their thing, we need something to complement that. Defense wins championships. I stated this before, and I can't harp on this enough. The Seattle Seahawks this season, in my opinion, they didn't have the best offense. That's just my opinion. Now, statistically, they may have had the best offense. But in my opinion, sitting down, watching a whole entire game from the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold, it ain't happening. That ain't it, in my opinion. That damn defense won them that Super Bowl. DeMarcus Lawrence, the way he played, that is what wins Super Bowls, in my opinion. That's what wins championships. And until we realize that,
a lot of different spots, Clarence. Like, it could come from the safety. There's a lot of, I look around the league, and every week it's like, in Seattle, they're the best example because they've really got two. They've got Nick that can move down there on first, second down. They've got Witherspoon on third down, maybe one of the best blitzers in the game, affects the quarterback.
And you know what's crazy to me is sometimes when I get on this show, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'll be having topics, and I can't even stay on track because you want to know why? It be so much to talk about with the Dallas Cowboys. Like, when I listen to Shotty, and Cowboys T, shout out to you because you got a great point. Shotty just talk good. It's still all BS behind the scenes. And you're right. You're right. But I'm here for football. I really could care less about all this talking they doing. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing this because I have an opinion on it, and I give it to you all. But my main thing is, hold on. Yeah, my main thing is that when they gonna figure it out? When? I hope soon. Because 30 years is quite a long time, y'all. It's quite a long time, y'all. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's quite a long time. And that's all I can say. So I'm hoping that this front office is ready for April 5th, 26th, whatever the case, man, whatever it is. My days running together. And they in this war room and they ready. We need some help still. He said 23rd. 23rd, yeah, whatever the case is. It's a lot to think about. West Coast, you got me thinking. I'm not going to lie, because he got a good point, man. I feel like Jerry don't want the bright and shining defense. He want the bright and shining offense. He want the flashiest wide receiver. We once wanted the flashiest running back in Ezekiel Elliott. Look at him now. Would you look at him? Bro didn't even last what? When did Zeke get drafted? I can't even remember. Wasn't it 2016? Yeah. He didn't even last 10 years. Guys, 10 years. He didn't even last that long, man. So there are some things that the Dallas Cowboys need to fix, man. There is. I still got hope in them. That's my team, DC4L. He said, which is why they all turn out mid. I'm telling you, bro, I just don't understand it. Like, why? Why? Diggs mid, Bland mid, Overshown mid, only because of injury. You're right. Great point. They all have injuries, significant injuries. I mean, significant injuries, guys. Significant injuries, knee injuries, leg injuries, foot injuries. You need those type of ligaments to move around in football. You need them because if you don't, this is where you're going to be going. Retired, chilling. Because we have to figure out something. I'm hoping it's soon. I'm hoping it's now. I'm hoping it's before this draft, maybe 2 days before the draft. Something. Give me Jordan Brooks. Give me somebody at the LB position. And then I can be happy with you drafting an offensive lineman in this year's draft. Now, if you go in here, Culinary Academy, he said, Overshown mid is diabolical. No, it's not. He tore his ACL, MCL, and his PCL, sir. That is not diabolical. He's great at what he does. He's great at what he does. And I'm not saying he would be that way before his injury, because before his injury, look what he was doing. But now, if you look now, he had a full season last season. He was not the same DeMarvion Overshown. He was there. Don't get me wrong. He played. He did great. Made tackles. But it was a different DeMarvion Overshown from what I seen in Texas and from what I seen in that first year at Dallas. That's what I'm trying to say. And Roman, you're 100% right. He is a great player. So moving forward, I really hope the Dallas Cowboys are ready to address some type of LB position. I mean, I can't harp on that enough. Cannot harp on that enough. So all I got to say is next show, guys, we will be diving deep on how much is really on Christian Parker's shoulders, because there's a lot at stake here. First year defensive coordinator, he hired an entire defensive staff. What is this going to look like? How much is it really on Christian Parker? He said he didn't have a full season. He came back on Thanksgiving. That's true. That's true. I forgot about that. Good point. Thank you for mentioning that. You're right. He didn't have a full season. So we shall see. We shall see. I'll give him. We're going to see. You better, if you want to be honest, I ain't seen no workout videos from DeMarvion Overshown. If you want to be better, well, I ain't seeing none. Hey, I ain't no coach, though. But usually when I see people being injured, they come off that injury, they're working out. So I haven't seen any from him yet. Hopefully he's getting it in, even off camera. That's great. But we shall see. He said we missed on McMillian. Man, you ain't lying. We missed on a lot of people, brother. But like I said, we will be live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Appreciate everybody's popping in, showing some love to the stream. On the way out, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Any of that sort, man. It helps me continue to do what I do. And I do what I do because I love the Dallas Cowboys. It's that simple. And I definitely think, appreciate that follow over on TikTok. Appreciate you. Appreciate the like. He came in, hit the follow button, and hit the like button. I appreciate you, boss. But like I said, until next time, tomorrow, 7 p.m. CST, and we will be live on draft day for those first two picks. Don't forget, for the first two picks, we have to see what the Dallas Cowboys is going to do because we don't know yet. We just don't know. But until next time, guys, deuces.